Hi there, I'm Heather for Garden Design, and I live and garden in the southwest suburbs of Chicago. I've been here for almost 20 years, and I have a small residential lot, and it's been a challenging thing. And you might think, well, it's small, how could it be challenging? But I often think small gardens are far more challenging than large gardens. You have to exercise restraint and work with intention, and you can't expect yourself to get there right away. It takes time to develop a garden, no matter what size it is. So here are the 8 things I think about when I'm working on my small spaces. First off, think about how you want to use the space. Do you want a space to grow vegetables? Do you want a place for cut flowers? Maybe you want a space just to hang out in the evening, or a spot for entertaining or grilling. All of those things come into play, and they really help you form a plan for how you want to develop your space. So really knowing what the purpose is of the space that you're going to design helps to inform your decisions later on. Take advantage of borrowed views. This is my garden back here. This is my neighbor's space in the foreground, and we're working together to develop her garden. And she's going to take full advantage of what I've planted here. So I've got an arborvitae, I've got an ivory halo red twig dogwood, there's a beautiful climbing rose and an arbor. So we are going to develop this over probably next spring, but she's going to use this as her backdrop. So think about what things are in the background. Take advantage of those borrowed views. Maybe your neighbors have beautiful trees that change gorgeous colors in the fall. Use that. You can make it look like it's part of your garden too. If you're thinking about an outdoor dining space or a place to entertain, consider pieces of furniture that won't take up a lot of space. Things that are big and beefy are going to consume a lot of that small space you have. Opt for things like wrought iron and things that have a much sleeker profile, and then you'll have more room and it won't look so overwhelming in your tight spot. And speaking of tight spaces, grow up. Take advantage of all those vertical spaces where you can grow beautiful things like clematis, wisteria, or roses. Those are opportunities missed if you don't take advantage of vertical space. So the best part, at least for me anyway, is plant selection. Look for plants that are bred to be dwarf or miniature sizes, but bear in mind that dwarf doesn't always mean that it's going to be the perfect size for your tight spot. Dwarf often means that it's half the size of the full-size plant. So if you have a shrub or a tree that normally gets 20 feet tall and 10 feet wide, or even bigger, dwarf often means it's going to be half that size. So maybe it's 10 feet tall and 5 feet wide, or 10 feet wide. That might still be way too big for your space. So really pay attention to your plant tags and get a feel for just how big that plant is going to be at full size. Like back here, a straight form of emerald green arborvitae would have been way too big for this corner of my yard. So I went with a smaller variety called North Pole. Planted them 3 feet on center. They get to be about 3 to 5 feet wide and about 15 feet tall. It's going to form a perfect living fence, a really nice privacy fence for me, and it's going to fit my space. And if you need something even smaller, I got a new one here that I'm really excited about. This is Sting. This is a brand new introduction from Proven Winners, and it's even smaller. Still gets that 15 to 20 foot height, but only at about 18 inches to 24 inches diameter. So it's a perfect space if you're looking for something that's evergreen through the wintertime. Sting is a great choice. Now, this next tip is one that I find the most challenging, and it's restraint. I really struggle with limiting my color palette, and as a matter of fact, I really don't limit it too much because I love that riot of color. But when you're just starting out and you've got a really small space, picking 2 to 3 of your favorite colors, plus the color green obviously, is a really great way to create a sense of continuity in your garden and keep it under control. I would say that I'm still not very good at that. I love color, but bear in mind, if you want a riot of color, you go do that. This is your garden, so the only person that this garden has to please is you. So if you want a riot of color, do it. Just keep in mind that picking 2 to 3 colors and using variations of those colors throughout the garden will really create a sense of continuity in the garden. And then when you're comfortable, break the rules. And my next tip, and it's a big one, consider repeating the same plants in your garden. Instead of picking this wide palette of plants and having one of everything everywhere, think about creating clumps of the same plants and have it meandering along the path in different parts of your garden. Repetition is key, and it helps knit the whole space together. My favorite plant, and one that I use throughout my garden in sunny spaces and shady spaces, it's one that you can use anywhere, has a beautiful pink flower, forms a nice clump. I've got it all planted throughout the hostas and the heuchera in this front yard bed in my garden, is geranium macrorhizum. It's wonderful. It's a great knitter plant. It's great to repeat. Easy care, low maintenance, perfect for a small space garden. Now this is going to sound completely opposite of what I just told you about using dwarf or miniature sized plants for your small spaces. Sometimes going tropical is really what your garden needs to add that little extra oomph. Things like musabaju or hardy banana, colocasia, elephant ear, cannas. Things with large leaves, interesting textures, interesting color variations on the leaves really help to amp up your small space and create interest and add a little drama. And the most important thing of all, have fun. Be bold, be fearless, go for it. You'll learn as you go. Create your spaces, and if it takes talking to a professional about it, do that too. There's no wrong answer here, and the most important person to please is yourself. So build your small spaces and enjoy the process. It takes time, so give yourself that grace. Take time to build your spaces and make it meaningful to you, because after all, the garden only has to please you. Happy gardening.